Hello, loves. Okay, hold on. Let me just move this because it's a little tilted and it's bothering me. Okay. Hello, loves. So, I'm sorry I'm a little late. I was filming the New Moon in Libra astrology forecast video. So, you guys are going to be getting that. I'm gonna be uploading that tonight, so you will get your hands on it. Let me just take a moment to post the live on the Patreon, and then we're gonna get started. We have quite a bit to cover today. This live is not gonna be as long as the other ones because you guys know I talk a lot, like a lot. I hope that everybody is doing well. We're not doing a meditation today. However, I will be giving you guys the mudras for this week so you guys can meditate with them because you will be needing it. I assure you, you will be needing it. But yes, definitely lots of stuff. Let me just get the link to the live posted on the Patreon, and then we're gonna get started. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. First and foremost, Mercury retrograde is tomorrow. We've been in the pre-shadow phase for a minute. And now we're going deep. We're going in and we're going deep, and it's happening. So listen, it's definitely it's a lot, but we're gonna work through it. Mercury and Scorpio and retro, it's a whole twang, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about Mercury in retrograde today. So definitely get ready. So let me just post the live real quick. Okay. So how was this past week for you guys? How are you guys kind of, moving through the energies? I feel like Mars in Aries and retrograde has been a lot. It has been a lot. I don't know about y'all, but it has been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been feeling like a lot, and it's just, whew. Like, I feel like there's been times this week that it's this past week that I just got angry, like so angry, and it took me a minute to like release it. I don't know if you guys have been having the same type of issue, but it's just like I've had to actually put in more work into releasing it more than usual. Like it's crazy. It's pretty crazy. And then because we have all this retrograde energy, there's so much stuff from like the past that's been coming up, especially with Mercury retrograde. There's just so much stuff coming up. You know what I mean? And it's just like I'm like thinking about all of the things that I need to do in the week, and then I have stuff from like 3 months ago that happened, and I'm just like, I totally forgot about you. What do you so yeah, that's where we're at. It's just it's a lot. Okay. So hello, just looking at your comments. Greetings from Florida. Love your channel and your work. Thank you so much. Welcome to the weekly healing circle. So excited for everybody to be here. Hello everyone. Hello. Yes, that was me too. I was procrastinating so bad last week. I've been like trying to stay on top of it, of my like procrastination. I've been doing better than usual because I do have my moments. Okay, I do have my moments, but for the most part I've been trying to get as much work done as I can. I'm still pushing through readings. This is one of the reasons why the live's a little late. I'm still pushing through readings and I'm finishing up all the readings tonight, so it's a lot, but I've been trying to stay on top of just getting everything done. So there you go. It's been weird. I and also was the only one that Friday night, just couldn't sleep and was getting woken up every hour. Oh my God, that's really annoying. I've had moments this past weekend where I couldn't, it took me a while to fall asleep because I was almost feeling really anxious for some reason. And I'm just like, wow, the hell? It just didn't make any sense why I was feeling so anxious. And I'm just like, and I'm trying to sleep and I'm just seeing the time. I'm just like, I never have that much trouble sleeping unless it's like the planets. And it's really, really the planets that are kind of trying it with me right now. Hello, how are you? I'm actually a little bit better now. I'm a little bit better now. It was a crazy day though. Last week was definitely a struggle. Yeah, last week was a lot of things. It's definitely, I feel like it's just been a lot of, is Mars in Aries? Yes, Mars is in Aries and it's in retrograde, which is why it feels like a lot of friction and a lot of just, I think there's a lot of anger too, because so much stuff is kind of being brought up out of sideways. It's like literally out of left fields. There's stuff that's coming out of nowhere, and it's just like you have to, like, you know, address it, and then at the same time you're like, but I'm also worried about this whole other thing that I'm working. It's just like it brings up a lot of pent up emotion too, which is kind of, you know, it can be a little bit, it can feel a little bit chaotic, I would say. That's what I would say. But for the most part, I do feel like I think it's about to get a little crazier. I'm not trying to scare y'all, but oh, you've been having sleeping issues too. I'm telling you, it's that Mars and Aries in retrograde situation. Like, it's really, it's a little bit. Mars loves being in Aries, but it doesn't like being in Aries in retrograde, because that means that you can't really use the energy properly. It just kind of gets put in this, it's like a really weird energy, because you have it, you're like, okay, I have the drive, I have the energy to do the thing, but then you can't. But every step you try to move forward, it's trying to say, hey, no, look back. You need to look back. You have other stuff that you need to address, that you've had on your corner that you haven't addressed, and now you really need to address it. And you're like, but no, but I really want to do this over there. And it's like, no, you got to focus on all of that. And it can be a little bit like irritating for Mars to be in retrograde. Mars doesn't like ever to be in retrograde, to be honest. But yeah, so we're gonna get started. Let me pull up the chart really quickly. So Mercury retrograde. So Mercury went in its pre-shadow phase September 23rd, and it goes in retrograde tomorrow. Okay, and it will be in retrograde until the 3rd of November. Okay, and then it will come out of its post-shadow phase, okay, on November 19th. So it does take a while for the full complete energy to shift out of, you know, retrograde mode. But after November 19th, we're like, clear, go ahead. But on the 3rd is when it goes direct. It's just gonna be a little slow, you know, to come out. Now, the fact that Mercury is gonna be retrograding in Scorpio is a lot, because Scorpio, it's a very, very, very deep sign. It is a very intuitive sign. It deals with a lot of seriousness, I would say. Scorpio ruling the truth, Scorpio ruling transformation, death, okay, the occult, things that are hidden, magic in many ways, a lot of the unconscious mind, those things that we are not aware of, those things that we are happening that we can't see but are happening still, or things that have happened that we don't know, that we now, you know, get exposed to during this time. During Mercury in Scorpio, and it just went into retrograde, you end up finding out more than you might have wanted to. You definitely get exposed to the truth, because that's ultimately what Scorpio is seeking. It's seeking the truth, okay? That's what Scorpio wants to understand the most. It wants to get to the root of the problem. It wants to look to the deepest, to the core. It just wants that knowledge. And so when you look that deep, you find a lot of things, and some of those things are not fun. They're definitely not the easiest things to understand or, you know, integrate as knowledge too. So the truth itself is what transforms a Scorpio when they let themselves do it. Because there's some, you know, a Scorpio is toxic when they don't allow themselves to transform. By the way, that's the key for any type of Scorpio knowledge. You know you got a toxic one if they do not let themselves transform. So with the energy of Mercury being in Scorpio, okay, it's saying, hey, you need to transform your thinking, you need to transform your minds. There's some negative habits mentally that you are still carrying that now needs to shift and change, whether that be you need to stop talking bad about yourself. You need to stop downplaying your strength or your artwork or your creativity, your passion. You need to stop judging yourself too harshly. You need to stop like really like, oh, the root of you still saying this is actually, you know, this family trauma you had from your dad when you were younger, or even a past life, because Mercury and Scorpio, hello, Scorpio rules, it's all about death, and so that includes past life issues. So this is actually a really great time to do past life work, to do death work, to work with and also communicate with death deities, including Santa Muerte. It's just a really great time to do that kind of transformative work, because when you allow yourself to actually mentally shift in that way, you're tapping into that Mercurial, Gemini, Virgo-ish energy where you're allowing the messages to flow through, but the messages are healing. You see, Mercury is not just, he doesn't, it's not just about being all over the place. There's a purpose to his madness, okay? At the end of the day, you have to tap into the core of who the planet is and what the journey that Mercury is taking while being in retrograde in Scorpio. It's a darker one, and it's a deeper one. It's one that leads you deeper into the rabbit hole in many ways, okay? But it is one that is purposeful. There's definitely a reason for the journey that we're like, why we need to go on this. And I do feel like Mercury and Scorpio, it's going to be very telling. I do feel like, especially because it's a prerequisite right now to Scorpio season, because we're not yet in Scorpio season, but it's already going to be a retrograde during Scorpio season, and so it's going to bring a lot of stuff to light, and you're going to see that coming out of the woodwork. You're going to see that coming out from everywhere. There's going to be stuff that you hear, even if, like, for example, and you're also, it strengthens the intuition as well, because you might just have a hyper connection to your intuition where you're just reading in and looking at things and like, yo, I just noticed that. That's not Mercury in Scorpio energy, okay? You might just notice stuff that people or somebody's trying to ignore, or you might just be a way more consciously aware than you have been in a while, and that's going to be that energy playing out. So you do have to be mindful of, you know, navigating through it. I do feel like when it comes to having a Mercury in Scorpio retrograde, you do have to kind of set intention for it and how you want to work with it. So definitely think about that as we go in to it tomorrow, and everybody's, you know, making the posts of Mercury retrograde. Don't text your ex, don't do all the stuff and all the stuff and all of the stuff that people say. Don't let the negative hype of Mercury going on retrograde fool you from the change and the healing and the transformation that you need to take and that you need to deal with, because there is really, really important for us to go through this journey, okay? And then we have this new moon in Libra on Friday that's going to push you to balance yourself out, and I made a separate video about that, so I'm gonna talk more about it then. But stay tuned, because I will be uploading that tonight, so you guys will get your hands on it, okay? Now, currently, Sun is in Libra, Moon is in Leo, Mercury is in Scorpio, Venus is in Virgo, Mars is in Aries in retrograde. Jupiter is in Capricorn. Saturn is in Capricorn. Uranus is in Taurus in retrograde. Neptune is in Pisces in retrograde. Pluto is in Capricorn. Chiron is in Aries in retrograde. So again, especially with Chiron being in Aries, and I know we talked about it, the fire element right now is going buck wild crazy. Like, it's very tumultuous. Like, it's all over the place. This is why I said it in the video that you will see for the new moon in Libra video. I said it in that video. I don't think that if you're gonna do a spell for this new moon, I don't think that it should be a fire spell, because fire right now, it's uncontrollable, and including, I feel like, when it comes to intention right now, I just don't think it's the best time to work with the fire element, because fire is just all over the place right now when it comes to setting intention through fire. I think you should be working with the air element. I think you should be working with the earth element, because there's still so many planets in Capricorn, in Taurus. So you want to be tapping into those earth energies. And always work with the water element, because water is nurturing by nature. So it does have that healing connection. And because out of everything in the chart that's getting highlighted with water is Scorpio, it really, says a lot about how we're going to be watering the earth that we are at. We're going to be watering it with some very deep, dark truths. So don't take it, lightly. I do feel like this week is going to be a little bit heavier energetically. I do feel like it's going to be a little chaotic until Mars goes direct. It's going to be a little bit more chaotic. I know that ultimately we will come out of this, but I do feel like it is a time to work with other areas of our energies right now. Not fire. Fire, I'm telling you, it's a little bit, I honestly feel like some people can burn their house down. That's how chaotic energetically the planets are with fire. How Mars is acting, no, it's too risky. That's the way I see it. Like, I do feel like setting intention with fire is just a little bit too risky. It's just too unexpected. I don't recommend it for this particular week. We'll see how I feel the week after, but this week, nah, it's not the week. It is not the week. So yeah, for this week specifically, I that's really what I see for this week. I do feel like this week calls for us to start diving in a little bit deeper. It's not gonna feel comfortable, but I do feel like this week calls for diving a little bit deeper into ourselves, into our intentions, into our growth, what we see for ourselves, and then working with that new moon and Libra energy to really balance each other out, balance our relationships out, because that's going to be another thing that we're going to be talking about in that new moon and Libra video. So stay tuned for that. But there's a lot of stuff going on with relationships. There's a lot of stuff going on with ourselves, with our passion. It's just like, it's a little bit everywhere. So just be aware of that, because it's gonna feel like randomly like a lie. You're gonna be like, why is everything so all over the place? And it's honestly because the planets are acting buck wild. That's the best way I can answer it. Is Mars in Aries? Mars is in Aries. Let's see. Would the planets be considered deities? The planets were named after deities. So yes, in many ways, yes, they can be considered deities. And there are different types of deities that are very much like connected to the planets as well. So you have like, in pretty much every ancient religion, you have like a moon goddess. And obviously the moon energies are very much the same, if not similar, to the moon goddess kind of energy. And so it is very telling how everything kind of always comes back to itself, like how the knowledge gets interpreted and used in the same way, but it's defined the same. You know, like there's always a communication god. There's always a knowledge god. There's always like, you know, the Jupiter energy, Jupiter being like signifying the gods of all gods. Um, so it's very telling, like the way everything kind of repeats itself in many ways, or it just kind of is interpreted in different like cultures, different religions, but they're literally the same thing. um so yes, so the planets can be considered duties. That's how I've been feeling on and off for a few days. Yeah, my Chiron is in Capricorn. You got work to do, my love. I use the fire element the most, but I love the water element. Definitely work with the water element, especially if you have like a lot of Capricorn. If you have a lot of earth placements, you want to work with the element that best nurtures you in many ways. So for air, it would be fire. For water, it would be earth, and vice versa. It just helps with spell work as well, especially looking at your placements and seeing how you can best work with it with spell work. So it's something that I use a lot, especially when it comes to working with the planetary hours for spell work. I always look at, okay, where's my Mars? Where's my Venus? What is my intention? What am I trying to call in? All of this kind of, all of these kind of different things about it. What does Chiron, I'm assuming you meant Chiron, represent? There's so many people saying different things about it. Chiron represents the wounded healer. So Chiron specifically highlights the areas of our lives that are going to be triggered in healing. So you want to look at the sign that Chiron is in, and you also want to look at where else that sign is in your chart, because that's going to be also where you're going to see a lot of activity with Chiron there. So Chiron really says, you know, hey, really take a dive deep into your wounds. And what is it that's hurting you? Why do you feel the way you do? Why, and how are you navigating through that? How are you healing through your pain? How are you healing through your wounds? How are you healing through your trauma? That includes past life trauma, that includes childhood trauma, relationship trauma, all of these type of things. How are you healing from them? And are you allowing yourself to heal? Chiron is a wounded healer. All healers, by the way, have had to go through hell and back in order to become who they are. So that means all the teachers, everybody who you, including me, including people that you like look up to, they have to go through and learn all of these things before they can teach others how to heal. And so Chiron, being the wounded healer, is someone who heals by understanding the wound itself. So that's really the way that you should look at understanding Chiron energy. I hope that makes sense. I have a lot of fire placements though. Like I have 4 placements in Sagittarius. Oh, that's really lucky. Sag is Sag is a very, like, I think Sag is a very funny, like, fun energy for me. But at the same time, I do feel like being a Capricorn, Sag energy can, I have to side-eye Sag sometimes, because Sagittarius can get away with a lot, but they have a really hard time being grounded. And as a Capricorn who is very grounded, I kind of can see them as being very, you know, chaotic sometimes, but that's just who they are. Like Sag energy needs to be understood that it can't be really pinned down too much. And so it's kind of like looking at them and saying, okay, you guys are super lucky, and you guys get a like, and you basically don't have to do half the work the rest of us does. It's almost like, damn, but at the same time it's like, damn. Like it's like a damn, but it's almost like it does catch up to them eventually, the not being grounded part. And it's one of the reasons why they travel so much, because they ground in different ways. But Sag energy needs to be worked with in a specific way for it to be productive, or else it can be very flighty and it can be chaotic, fire sign energy wise. I'm just saying. My Capricorn is in Capricorn. My Chiron is in Capricorn too. My Chiron conjunct my moon. Me and my mom have gone through it. Oh, jeez. Listen, Chiron is it. I mean, Chiron. I feel like it's definitely something that I feel like it's not necessarily the hardest thing to work with, and it's only because I'm always open to healing work. I'm always open to um just learning the lessons that I need to learn and going through the motions of things. Like I'm a very self-aware person, so if I do see that something is bothering me, or like and I've told you guys this before, I'm a very analytical person with myself, and that comes from my Gemini moon, so I talk to myself a lot. So if I'm like having a conversation with someone and something they said like triggered me or bothered me or something, I'm like, okay, why did that bother me? Where's the root? Think about it. And I'm literally like a search engine in my head, like, where is this coming from? Where did I hear this before? Why is this bothering me? Like I'll go through the motions of trying to look for it, and that also comes from my Scorpio placements, because I will look for, again, like I said earlier, I will look for the truth. I will look for the thing. I'd be like, why? Oh my God, but why was it, and all this stuff. So when you're trying to have a conversation with me and I'm trying to figure out why I was triggered, it's a very it's like interesting, because I'll start saying it out loud. I'm like, you know what, that kind of bothered me, you just said that, but I think it bothered me because this happened when I was like whatever, and I'll just start going through a whole tangent, and the person would just be looking at me like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, my Gemini moon, I talk out loud a lot. I mean, I'm just like, I'm trying to sort myself out. Like the best way to work with that Chiron energy is to go into analytical mode, like really, really go into analytical mode. So you're not like getting like just falling into the feelings and just, be like, oh my God, that hurt. Okay, it hurt, but why did it hurt? Why? Figure out why. Figure out the root of the problem. Where does it stem from? Like, I'm never one of these people that likes to sit into one thing. It's just, I like to go in deeper than that. So again, I work with my Scorpio placements in a very deep way. And so I don't like to sulk in type of emotions. Like if I'm feeling down or stuff like that, I'm like, why am I feeling down? What do I need to do? What is the root of, like, I question myself all the time. And I do feel like it's important to question yourself, because when you are questioning yourself, you are practicing self-mastery. Okay. And this is a topic I talk about a lot on my channel. Okay. You guys know this, but self-mastery is important, because when you are the master of the self, you have self-control. Okay. You know how we say we co-create our universe? You are your own creator as well. So if you are in control of yourself, you create more smoothly and effortlessly, versus you letting things happen to you and being all reactive and then be like, oh, no, question everything. Question everything. Question your own intentions. Question your own behaviors. Question why, where, who, what. Like, question everything. Chiron allows for those triggers to happen in a very annoying way, because it's gonna trigger you in like, it's like poking your wounds. It's like when you have a scab, it's not fully healed, you keep peeling the thing off. That's literally Chiron. Like, you're just like not letting it heal, but it's still there, and you know it's not healed because it looks ugly, because it's scabby as hell, and you know you need to heal it and let it go through the process, but you haven't yet, and it's still there and it's bothering you. So you have to really address it. It's all about self-analyzation, self-mastery, and understanding yourself, so you know who the F you are. Okay, when you know who the F you are, is because you know how to take care of yourself, you know how to heal yourself, you know how to love yourself, you know how to understand your wounds, all of these things. Okay, all of these things are really, really important. So dive in deeper into your wounds, especially during this Mercury in retrograde, because it's gonna be a lot. It's definitely gonna be a lot. I'm telling you, if there's one thing Scorpio does, is expose. So get ready. Get ready for that. What is some beginner healing work? Whew. Beginner healing work. See, it's kind of like I just thought of like 80 million things, because there's so many areas of healing that I can just cover with that question. But I think the first step into doing healing work is going through that initial conversation with yourself where you're trying to figure out what it is that you need to heal in the first place. Okay. So it's, you know how they say in psychology, like you need to, once you admit that there's a problem, then you can go ahead and, you know, try working on the problem. It's kind of like that. You need to really self-analyze. Self-analyzation is something I talk about a lot on the channel as well, let me tell you. But you need to self-analyze and really say, okay, what's going on in my life? What is going right in my life? What's going wrong with my life? What would I like for my life? What is it that I need to work on? Like, what you go through the self-analyzation mode. If there's something that pops up where you're like, you know what, I still haven't gotten over this with my mom, or I'm still having like issues with a family member, or I'm having trouble sleeping. It could be like the most weirdest kind of thing. It could be like a small thing. It could be a big thing. It could be you wanting to heal your chakras at that. Like if you just wanted to heal your chakras and you just focus on one and then, you know, continue with the rest. But healing has to be directed at what is it that you're trying to heal in the first place? Because healing work is like, you can heal so many different things. You can heal your finances, you can heal your body, you can heal your mind, you can heal your past life, you can heal, like, there's so many different things. So it's kind of like, you tell me healing, I'm thinking like a spider web of, you know, where it can go versus what is it that you need to heal? What is it? What problems are you having? Where would you want to be more balanced? Is your life in perfect balance? If there is not, how can you bring more balance into your life? What are the areas that are calling for your attention right now? That's when you focused your healing work into it. So it's not really like, I know it's not like the best answer, but it's kind of, it's too broad of a question for me to answer in a direct way. And I hope that makes sense. People think I'm crazy because I think I laugh. Listen. That's literally me at this point, but like people know I'm a medium, so at this point they're just used to it. Plus me having a Gemini moon, I naturally, when I talk out loud, I'll usually end up having a message for someone without me even knowing it. So they'll be like, oh my God, Abby. And then I'm like, what? So it kind of, at this point, they're just, my friends are used to it. It's just, it's a part of my existence. What have I got in Scorpio? I have Pluto in Scorpio. I have my 4th house in Scorpio. Because we doing the live right now. Sorry, Mom. I have a lot of things in Scorpio. But where I'm really sensitive in Scorpio is specifically my 4th house. Because the 4th house is, yes, it is the, you know, that mothering, you know, the house of family and all that, but the 4th house is also the house of the soul. So it is where you are incepted. It's like, it's your origin. It is very much the beginning point in many ways. And I know a lot of people see the 1st house as the beginning point, but to me, the 4th house says way more about who you are as a person than your 1st house ever will. Okay, because I have a Leo in the 1st house, so you know, I get a lot of the, oh, you're beautiful and all this stuff, because you know, Leo is gonna shine regardless. So aesthetically, I'm gonna please people aesthetically. I am aware of that. I could give a rat's ass about that though. I work with my 4th house in Scorpio more than I work with like a lot of different things in my chart, and it's specifically because I am deeply connected to death. I'm deeply connected to my past lives in this lifetime. So it signifies a lot of things for me, and it definitely says a lot about my family too, with the past life work that I've had to do, because Pluto, hold on, let me move this, because Pluto is also in my 4th house. So I've had to do a lot of death and ancestor work. I just had to do a lot in this lifetime. So when it comes to Scorpio energy. And so having this specific lifetime be triggered by the past is really important to me. So it affects me in a lot of different ways. The fourth house is a very magical place, let me tell you. I'll probably have to do a whole entire, it's so funny I'm talking about the fourth house, my mom calls me. I'll probably have to do a whole separate video on like the different houses. And I know I have to go through the whole astrological deep diving in eventually, so you guys will kind of get that. But yeah, the fourth house is a very, very important house. It's a cardinal house. The cardinal houses are the most important houses in astrology because they're the ones that you see the most movement in. And so those 4 houses have the most changes and the most, I would say, the most significant changes. Not that the other houses are not important, because they definitely are. I love my 5th house more than anything. But at the same time, the cardinal houses, you see the more significant changes. Your life changes happen through all of those cardinal houses. Your long-term important changes happen through those cardinal houses. And so they take, it's a huge impact into your life. So for me, that 4th house and having Pluto there, like just sitting up in my soul house. I am constantly doing soul work. So it, it's a reflection of my life at this point. But yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Hold on, there's a ton of comments. Hold on. I need healing work ideas too. Haha. Well, it really depends. It really depends. You have to customize it to what it is that you need. Like for me, I feel like I go through a whole bunch of different kind of emotions, and I do feel like I work with the planets a lot when it comes to healing too, because if I do see that they're trying to push me in one direction, I'll start working with the element that I'm getting called to planetary wise. Also intuitively, if I'm getting called and saying, hey, you need to start working on, your stretching or being more flexible and stuff like that, I'll start doing yoga, and that is healing work, let me tell you. There's the little smallest things that could be healing that you have no idea. It could be like drinking water and staying hydrated is healing work. So it really depends on what you guys mean by healing. Like, you guys need to give me details so I can actually be like, I recommend this. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I have been so unmotivated. Is the retrogrades got you down? The retrogrades got you down. My mom, aunt, and 2 first cousins just passed, all in like a year and a half, trying to deal with that and start my nail biz at the same time. So confused. Well, I would say, you see, and this is when that whole 4th house in Scorpio comes in, and having Pluto and death energy in my 4th house comes in when it comes to family and death work. I'm really open to death work. That includes when people pass. And I feel like at some point later in my life, I'll end up being a death doula. I don't know why, but I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I kind of feel like at some point I might get called to do that for some reason. I'm talking to those spirits who are pushing me that way. But I do feel like when it comes to doing death work, especially in a year that has been so heavy with death, and I feel like 2020 definitely started as a year that people, I feel like they underestimated 2020 in many ways. And 2020 is still a master number 22. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of changes, a lot of shifts that had to happen this year, and death is part of that. And I do feel like when doing death work, especially when it comes to processing the energy, you need to try to allow yourself to transform with your circumstances always. If you cannot allow yourself to transform and shift through the things that happened, through the people that you think you lost, because you definitely didn't lose anybody. They just transitioned into a new form. It's not the funnest way sometimes to experience our loved ones, but life still happens, and there are moments that we still need to I think especially when it comes to coping with it, I think in the end, understanding your own mortality, for me, balances my understanding of death and how it will happen, especially I work a lot with Santa Muerte and working with death energy. And I do feel like as much as it is hard initially to go through those processes, I will tell you 10,000%, not only would their own spirits not want you to be spending time feeling the depths of despair from their loss, because again, they're still with you. But at the same time, you have to understand, especially me being a Capricorn, I see time in a whole different spectrum. Every second that I take not doing something is a second that not doing something that I'm, needed to do is a second that I'm wasting. That any of my ancestors who could have had a little bit more time could have done something else with. So if you're still here playing the larger game of life, while they have transitioned into a new form, you still have to continue to move forward and progress. If you stop your own progress, you are going to stop your blessings from coming in, and you're only going to turn other people's passings and transitions into a traumatic event, into a, oh my God, this person died and it completely took me out of the entire game of life. And when that happens, a lot of things die with you, not just those people, but your dreams die, your intentions die, your growth dies, and you can become very stagnant out of your own intention. And every day when you wake up and you don't push yourself to be better, be better with yourself, you ultimately end up taking up your own time, taking up your own growth. And at the end of the day, I do feel like the best way to navigate through that is to do ancestor work. If you know your ancestors are still there with you, 10,000, a million %, you will have an easier time understanding that they're not gone, they're still with you. It's just that they're not there with you in a physical form. So for me, like when my grandma passed, I remember like I broke down crying, and then there was a point where like I broke down crying for like, I think it was like an hour, 2 hours. And then there was a point that I couldn't cry anymore because I literally ran out of tears. And then I had flown from New York to DR to go to her funeral. And I didn't cry at all throughout the whole time. And throughout the whole funeral, I actually felt at peace, like straight up peace when I was there. And my grandma was also, listen, I could tell you a lot of different death stories, but I have a thing about coffins and walking up to the where they're at, like I have a thing about that ever since I was little. I was traumatized when I was a kid because of my grandma about this at a funeral. Listen, and I can tell you guys the story another day, unless I think I already mentioned it before, but I was definitely traumatized about this at a funeral because my grandma sat me down in front of her husband who had just passed his casket, and I was staring at him for like what felt like 5 hours, and I thought he was just gonna rise because I kept seeing him rise from the damn coffin over and over again. Anyway, and so my thing with walking up to caskets, and I don't do that, okay? Not at anybody's funeral except for my grandma. That's the only time I went up to a casket. But I don't ever do so, especially because I already see spirit moving around when I'm at the funeral. I already see spirit moving around, and I also see Santa Muerte moving around. I'd be seeing her walking, following different people. I am super observant at funerals, and my third eye is like, what's a pow? Like it's open as hell. And so for me to like dismiss any of that would be really, really stupid because I already see spirit. I can already hear spirit. So if spirit's telling me, hey, Abby, this is what's going on, I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, I'm still mad. I'm still upset. I hear you. I see you. I feel you. You're here. I get it. Thank you. Like I get it. So I can't dismiss the fact that, you know, I love my grandma and that she is, you know, first and foremost, she is my ancestor representative. When she passed, she became my ancestor representative. So she literally is the person that I talk to who represents the rest of my ancestors. Like this is like, you know, what's it called? Like when you're voting for a representative, but there's no vote because my grandma was always going to be my representative. It's kind of like that. Like when she passed, I was at peace with it. Yes, did I miss her? Of course I missed her. And of course, even walking through, I remember like I filmed it. I was talking to my sister. We were walking through the cemetery to go bury her. She definitely didn't want to be there. Because who wants to be surrounded by other spirits who have other types of issues? Like I was walking through the cemetery with my sister and I was just like, yo, every step I took, I was passing a different gravestone. I could feel how the people who passed in those areas, how they died. I was getting pain in my breast. I was getting pain in my like stomach, pain in my like, I could feel different part of my lungs, my legs like were hurting. And I was just like, Rhodey, do you feel this? And she was like, yeah, I'm having pain. I'm having a really big headache. Like, we were just picking up so much energy from the dead people who were in the cemetery itself that I'm not going to sit here and ignore the fact that they're there because it wouldn't be realistic. So she passed and I still work with her every single day. She's still with me every single day. I still welcome her and understand her and get those messages from her every single day. And she always says hi to me exactly the way that she used to say hi to me. I still hold her on that level. My grandma, I still love her very much. She's just in a different form. But let me tell you, that woman goes to work on my behalf. Like all of my ancestors do, but she definitely gets to work on my behalf on helping me and pushing me in the intentions that I have for myself. So it's not that their spirits are dead, and I don't want you to see it that way, especially when it comes to losing people. It's not that their spirits are dead at all. It's that they're still there and they're waiting for you to give them consent to help you at the end of the day. Because if you don't, you know, if you don't allow them to help you, you're just gonna feel helpless. You're gonna feel hopeless and you're gonna feel like super depressed. And then all they're doing is looking down on you like, oh my God, I wish you would just give me a chance. Just let me help you. Let me just pray. Just come on, give me an opening so I can, you know, work with you. Because again, spirit itself, if you don't give them consent, they're just not gonna show up. Okay, there are some ancestors that are just naturally like battle born and they'll like go ham for you, but a lot of the time if you don't give them consent, they can't do so. So you do have to, I feel like you need to do a whole ancestor ritual. Boo, can you sign up for the workshop that I'm having at the end of the month? Because we're literally doing an ancestor, like a whole ritual and an ascension ritual. I'm just saying the link will be down below whenever I add it to the live. It'll probably be there tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But we're literally doing a ancestor veneration meditation, so highly recommend you doing it. But I also recommend you do like a cleansing. Do a baño. I also recommend at some point, if you haven't already, do an ancestor altar and make sure that you do an offering of something that they really, really loves. And then also when you welcome them into your space, because you do have to do that as well, make sure that if you knew what they were really, really good at, this is a really good tip, by the way. If you knew what they were really, really good at, ask them to help you in those areas as well. So if you knew that one of your ancestors was just really good at communicating, or she just had a way with talking to people, or a way with, you know, getting through, or was just really lucky when it comes to money or something like that, ask your ancestors to help you in that space, because if they're really good at something, they can help you with that as well. So make sure that you're actively working with your ancestors. The relationship doesn't end just because death happens. I hope that made sense. That was a long answer, but I hope that makes sense. Who is your favorite archangel to wait? Hold on. It changed. Hold on. Who's your favorite archangel to work with? Which archangel do you work with / which archangel do you work with the most? My favorite archangel to work with / I guess I can ask, the archangel I work with the most is probably Archangel Michael, because babe just says me, because babe, okay? So Archangel Michael is actually one of just the angels that has been in Bae's family for a really long time, and it's because of so much stuff that goes into her family line, okay, that she does a lot of, she has to do a lot of protection work, so I work with Archangel Michael a lot for that reason. Before I used to work with our Archangel Michael as much as I do now, I did a lot of work with Archangel Gabriel, because Archangel Gabriel pushed me a lot when it came to my business. So I work with them, both of them, I would say fairly equally, but I do feel like I work with Archangel Michael the most just because of Bae itself. So yeah, I do work with Archangel Raphael as well, but I do feel like I do work with him the least sometimes, because a lot of the times when it comes to healing work, I tend to run to Sekhmet. Like I just run to Sekhmet, because my soul just goes there. And I just love working with her. So, but I do work with all of them pretty regularly, but Archangel Michael gets pretty much daily calls from me, daily prayers from me. So yeah, and Archangel Gabriel, amazing. By the way, especially because you said you wanted to start a nail salon, Archangel Gabriel, boo. I would say in order, I would do Archangel Raphael for your healing and for you to help you heal through, you know, all of the emotions that you're going through, and Archangel Gabriel to push you to get back on your business, because Archangel Gabriel, it's about that, okay? He is about that. Let's see. You have to take time out for yourself and heal first. Yeah, 100%. Lots of great suggestions in the comments today. Can you speak on our ancestors? You mean like communicate with your ancestors? Yeah, but I don't like doing it in a, I have to be in a particular, I don't know, there's some areas that I do have to fit, like as much as I am a medium and I do talk to spirit, and I will be hanging out with people sometimes that I don't even know, and I'll get messages from their ancestors and stuff. I don't like talking to other people's ancestors all that much like that. It comes up in readings a lot of the time. It comes up in different ways. Like I'll be doing a reading and their ancestors will be like, this is what we want them to know. And I'll be like, all right. But for the most part, when it comes to just talking, like me going out of my way to talk to them, I don't like to do it too often, because what I have noticed is that other people's ancestors get very comfortable with me, and they will done wake me up at the craziest times in the morning to be like, they need to know this. You need to let them know that they need to know this right now. They need to know. And then I'll have to text somebody, okay, at the wee hours in the morning, because they want me to communicate something to them. And I just don't like to have that door open. So I have like, I've had to put a lot of restrictions on my like availability when it comes to working with spirit in that type of an open way, especially if I'm hanging out with other people. I'll just literally start getting messages and I'm like, okay, guys, I don't know if they even wanted me to give them this message. I will try to give it, but if it does not get taken, it is what it is. So yeah, I just feel like yeah, I just have to have those boundaries because spirit literally having a Gemini moon, I get so many messages that at this point I just try to, I feel like I understand that I'm a vessel for messages and vessel for information, but then at the same time I also can't wear myself out. You know, I also need to rest. And I have to communicate that with spirit, like, hey, I'm sleeping during this time. Do not wake me up don't wake me up for that. So yeah, that's basically my answer to your question. If a negative person dies, how do you keep their spirit away from you and loved ones? So 100% protection work. Also, ways to protect your home as a beginner. I just saw that on the screen. Archangel Michael, pray. I say that like I feel like I'm a huge advertisement for the archangels. Like every week I'm like, guys, the easiest way, pray to the archangels. Specifically Archangel Michael for protection is chef's kiss. Amazing. Because at the end of the day, the angels are there to work. Like you just gotta call them. They're like the police, but not racist. So all you have to do is literally be like, hey, I need this. Hey, I really I need protection. I feel unsafe. I feel like I'm not, just call on the angels, especially Archangel Michael when it comes to protection. If it's something that is really serious, like this person has it like really out for you, you want to make sure you have that layer of protection there. So make sure you use your archangels for that. Yes, that's what I keep hearing in the back of my thoughts. I couldn't put into words other than don't fall in love with death. That's deep. I feel like when it comes to death work, I do love Santa Muerte though. I do. I feel like, especially, this lifetime for me is very, very deeply connected to ancient Kemet, which is ancient Egypt. And so at that time, death wasn't even a word. We all like understood that it was a ritual that we must go through, that our spirit, our soul must go through. And it really is all about, and if you watched my balance video, you know what it was really, you know what the purpose of it was. At the end of your life, you would go through this ritual where you would get balance. Your soul would get balance and weighed against a feather. And so death wasn't seen as, you're done. It was just seen as another part of life. So it was a process. It was a beautiful ritual. It was a beautiful process of life. It was a beautiful part of life. And it was a shift, but it wasn't seen the way that it is today. The reason why people fear death so much is because white people made people fear death. They made it into a really bad thing, but it's just another part of life. It's a transition. And you just come back in a different form. So it's just all about your spirit and your soul itself versus your physical form. So when it comes to death and doing death work, I actually love doing death work. This is why I love working with Santa Muerte. So I do love death in many ways, because anytime that I can elevate and grow and release and just, go through the motions of doing that and understand, every time I go through different deaths in my life, I understand that I just became stronger of a person. I have elevated because I have went through that process. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't know. That's my thing. Wait, let me see. I just saw a question, but I don't know where it went. So I'm a little concerned. My boyfriend cheated on me. Then we broke up, but after I left him, I had a dream that his name was scratched into my leg and people were trying to hurt me. Love, I suggest you do a reading. 1000%. But I do feel like when it comes to doing dream interpretation specifically, you want to really dive in deep and look at the main messages you're getting through it, but also look at other things you might have missed, because there might be other things hidden in that dream. But also, you can also ask the archangels to help you with the dream work. So if you are trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening, ask the archangels, hey, can you guys please come into my dreams tonight and show me what's going on? What is the messages that I need to know? Do I need to know any more from this? Is there something, any work that I need to do? Ask for those messages to be shown to you, or ask spirit to tell you what is going on as well. Because first and foremost, if you're going through a transition where, you know, you had a partner, especially now during Libra season, you want to go through a whole spiritual cleanse. You want to make sure your house is cleansed. You want to make sure you throw away all things that was connected to that energy. Bless and cleanse, girl. Bless and cleanse. You want to completely have a sacred space. It's like a pressing the restart button. You got to cleanse the whole space. If you keep the space like mucky and stuff like that, it can create like little openings for spirits to just come in and, you know, do some crazy ass shit for no reason. I am part of the Ancestor ritual meditation on the 31st. What work would you recommend prior? So I'm going to be sending out this week, I'm going to be sending out pretty much the itinerary. And if for those who purchase the ritual kits, you guys are going to have a spiritual bath that you will have to do before the ritual starts. So there's that, but the instructions are going to be in the itinerary, so stay tuned for that. That's going to come 1000%. So let's pull some cards for the week. Let's see what's going on. So what's going on for this week? What should we be aware of? Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. Okay. Yo, I can't. Okay, bottom of the deck, we got the Seven of Wands and the Magician. I am not surprised about this. Why? Because Mercury is going to retrograde tomorrow. I am not surprised. I'm telling you, things are going to be coming out of the woodwork. I feel it. I see it. It's coming. It's, y'all, there's going to be truths coming out of the wazoo. Okay, you're going to be finding out stuff out of the craziest of the thinnest of airs. So our main cards, we have the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, Death. Were we just talking about death? We were. Then we have the Sun, and we have the Chariot. Okay, so we have a couple different energies at play over here. We got Scorpio energy in here. We got the Sun energy, so that's that Leo energy in here. We have Cancer energy in here. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of things going on. I do feel like we're in a place this week where we're really trying to let go of some baggage. Like we do, it's something that we want to do. I do feel like a lot of us are going to be aware to the energy when it comes to Mercury being in Scorpio and the things that are starting to kind of come out from underneath the surface. We are keeping the intention of, okay, I still want to be that bitch. Okay, I still want to make sure I'm good. I still want to make sure that I have myself in order. I still am working on those projects that I need to work on. I may not be able to completely launch everything the way I wanted to, but you know what? I can start design. I can start prepping. This is prep work. This is the outline, okay? And I can still benefit from the things that I've already manifested into my life that I already have. If you live in an apartment, congratulations. A lot of people have been getting evicted this year. So enjoy that apartment. Make yourself some tea. Walk around the house naked. Do, you know, like go through a whole, like, sit in the bathtub for a whole like 5 hours, turn into a prune, like whatever it is you need to do. Enjoy the things that you already have. I think that it's really, really important for us to take some moments to pull it back, okay, and try to connect to the things that you already have, all of those things that you've already manifested into your life. That's really, really, really important. You guys know that I've been saying this for the longest time. Earth energy is the undercurrent in astrology right now with the rest of the planets. Whatever's happening with the planets that move the fastest, that be Mercury, that be the sun, moon, Mars, all of these things. You have the generational planets. Most of them are sitting in Capricorn. Uranus is in Taurus. You have a lot of earth energy. So that is the foundation of all the fuckery that's happening up here. So you want to make sure that if you're feeling overwhelmed with the fuckeries happening up here, you're coming back to the things that you're already stabled with, okay? Is really, really, really important, because I do feel like while we're going through all these transitions and moving into like the next phases that are coming up, we need to really keep ourselves grounded to the best of our ability. And that's really why this card is really coming up here. It's just like a little reminder, like, hey, you still got a lot of stuff in your life that you need to be working on, that you could be using, okay? You bought XYZ in your kitchen, you still haven't used it. You bought an air fryer, you still haven't used it. Go cook, start cooking, start doing more for yourself. What do all these pentacles look like to you? They don't have to be a mansion and like, they don't have to look like that, okay? These can be literally things that you already manifested and brought into your life that actually can make your life so much more enjoyable during this time. So make sure that you're using what you already have. It's really, really important. Then we have the Seven of Cups with the death, okay? And I do feel like right now we are really analyzing this week, okay? We're going to be analyzing all of these little things that kind of come up out of the woodwork that's having us a little bit cloudy in some areas of our lives. That it's just like, wait, what? Like it's a wait, what type of moment for this week. And I do feel like there's going to be multiple things happening in different areas of your life in different ways. And it's almost like you're going to be like looking at your surroundings, looking at like the things that are popping off, and you're like, wait, okay, so the news is saying this, my sister's texting me that, this is happening over here. Like, wait, this just turned into a soap opera real quick, okay? And that's the way it was really coming off. There's gonna be something that you're very confused about. And if there's some things that you were confused about before as well, you're gonna have the revelations come through. You're gonna have the truth come true. You're gonna have that, moment, that breakthrough where it's like, oh, that's gonna happen this week as well. So stay tuned for that. But I do feel like this death energy, it comes with positivity. I don't want you guys to see the Mercury retrograde as a bad thing. Mercury in Scorpio can bring a lot of changes. It's just, it's a lot of deep work. It takes a lot of it takes a lot of intention. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of, wanting to progress, wanting to make things better for yourself, wanting to understand and accept the truth for what it is, in order for you to see the lights at the end of the tunnel. You do have to allow yourself to come out of death, because through death there is life. Actually, no, this could stay here because this is that Cancer energy, and Cancer is that divine mother energy, and women is the vessel for life. So through death there is life. Literally, that's literally what this looks like right now. So I want you guys to see this as a moment of critical change, one that can lead you to more understanding, one that can lead you to more purpose. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of you guys connecting with your ancestors this particular week, and I think they're gonna have more of that nourishing energy that you actually been needing for a while, on a level that is kind of almost unprecedented. I feel like you guys are going to be feeling a little bit better than you have been in a minute, but this week still has this moment of chaos in many ways. I hope that makes sense, because that's literally, it just feels like it's a little bit all over the place, but it's for a reason. That's what it feels like. That's honestly what it feels like. So what is going on with our relationships for this week? What is going on with our relationships for this week? Yo, I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. Healing family issues. Okay, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. This includes ancestor work. Okay, healing family issues. What has been going on with your family? What has been going on with your ancestors? What have you been working your ancestor altar? Have you been doing some generational work? Did you listen? Did you go do the ancestor meditation that I done posted on the channel? Have you done it yet? Hello. Healing family issues. Y'all need to get on it. There's a lot there, and you see that happening because I feel like there is this lingering water energy, feminine, this deep feminine energy coming through, especially with this Chariot card. That Cancer energy is coming through really, really hard. I do feel like the mother ancestors, the female ancestors, want to they want to have a deeper nourishment right now. They're literally looking at what's going on. They're like, wait, I want to intervene. I want to help. I want to make you feel safe. I want you to understand that you're gonna be okay. Everything is gonna work out as they should. But let me help. Let me nurture. Let me give to you. And I do feel like that's the way that it's coming up this particular week. We're also getting, this could be the one you've already met your romantic partner that you seek. And I do feel like that is true for some people. Not everyone, but definitely for some people. I do feel like this particular week, especially going through all of this that's happening with Libra season, going up to this new moon that's happening in Libra season with relationships and the way, you know, Venus and Neptune will be aspected on this day, there is a lot of revealing for this week as far as, you know, this could be the one and you being aware. It does take the veil off. I do see that happening with relationships this week. That actually came up in the reading for the new moon in Libra, which you guys, I'm going to post after this, so you guys will see it. But that actually showed up for this week. So there is a lot of revelations that are coming out. So stay tuned for that because the peoples need to know. Okay, so let's see. Archangel Gabriel. What is going on, Archangel Gabriel? What do we need to know for this week collectively? What do we need to know for this week collectively? What do we need to... Ooh, he said it's going to be 3 cards today. Okay. So, I think Archangel Gabriel's trolling a little bit because he did the same thing that he did last week where he gave me this card. I did not forget because it was funny as hell. But we're also getting a let go again for this week. For those that didn't let go last week, you're still getting it this week. I said it before, I said it again. The angels can be very petty. Release the desire to control the situation and leave it up to God's infinite wisdom to resolve everything beautifully. Okay? Resist the desire to control this situation. Just so y'all know, this also lends to Mercury and Scorpio because Scorpios can be controlling as hell. Okay? Can be manipulative as hell. Okay? So if you're at a point where you know you have to let go of something, but you kind of want to still try to play the game and control it, stop. Let it go. Let it go. We're also getting blocks lifted. Okay? Previous obstacles came from fear and they are now lifted away. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. So especially when it comes to this let go energy, one of the messages I just got is if you have been afraid to let go because it creates a void where that thing was now, that void is actually very positive and you need to go through that process. And if it's something that you have been afraid of saying, oh my God, I don't want to be alone, or I don't want to let this go because if I do, then this happens. You actually have to go through that process because it's not only healing, but it's making space for something new. So you're the one that created this damn block for yourself. I just want you to be very aware that you're the one who created this block, and that you're the one that needs to let go so you can remove that block. So then that way you can progress. Next, he's saying time management. That's probably for me. Place your priorities at the top of your to-do list and don't allow distractions to deter your focus. Okay? Listen. Time management. Time management. This is seriously really, really important right now. Especially dealing with Mars in Aries in retrograde energy, Mercury in retrograde energy. It can kind of call for some sluggishness. Is like, if I don't get to do what I want, I'm just like, I'm gonna kick and scream and like be mad about it, and not it just can create so much random toxicity for ourselves, to be quite honest. So time management is important. Do not waste your time right now. You do not want to be wasting your time right now, especially while Saturn is still in Capricorn. It's not December yet. Please use the, I said this last week in the live, it's not December yet. Please use the energy wisely. So that way we're actually getting the best from it than the worst from it, because you do not want to get the karma for wasting time later. Daddy Saturn would though. Okay. Archangel Raphael, what do we need to know for this week? Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Archangel Raphael said 3 cards too. The first one is detoxification, which is very similar to let go. Ooh. And the prayer goes, Pink. Stop being so barky. She's so barky. It was her birthday last Friday. It was her birthday last Friday. Okay. She turned 10 years old. She's a little old lady, acting like she a baby. So damn cute. She's so damn cute. So detoxification. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for cleaning up my body, mind, and life so that I may happily and healthfully live free of chemicals. Detox, 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 boo. Detox. Detox. Okay? It's really important to go through the detox, especially during this new moon in Libra. You're going to want to cleanse. You're going to want to release. You're going to want to let go. Balance. 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 If you are like overwhelmed or something, you're not balanced. If you are in pain, you're not balanced. If there's an issue, you are not balanced. Seek balance. That is the key to progression right now. Okay. The next 2 that we're getting is stretch and yas. I know it says yes, but it's yas to me. So dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for staying by my side and motivating me to take excellent care of myself in all ways. So if you've been sulking in your room doing absolutely nothing, go outside. Want to run? Go stretch. Do yoga. Be outside. Do something. Flex. Flex. Balance. If your body's been like hurting because you haven't been moving it enough, you need to use your body because it's not in balance. The next one is yes. Yes. Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me trust my feelings as the accurate barometer of truth. And I feel like this is good. This specifically is for Mercury retrograding in Scorpio, because you're going to be getting your intuition be like ding, 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 like trying to tell you something. Okay. And you're going to be like, wait, is this true? Is this the answer? Oh my God, is that what's really happening? My intuition is telling me this. Like, is that what's really happening? Yes, that's what's really happening. That's really what's happening. It's really happening. So don't just like ignore your intuition. Don't just ignore the messages that you're getting, specifically coming from your third eye, the things that you're seeing. If you're having dreams and stuff like that, you don't want to just dismiss it and be like, oh, I didn't mean anything. And then it's going to haunt you. The truth is going to haunt you during this time. So don't just dismiss the thing. Let your intuition really shine and communicate, because during this time, I'm telling you, anybody can be a hard medium during this time. Mercury and Scorpio, and people who are born with Mercury and Scorpios, every time I see that in anybody's chart, I'd be like, you know. Not only do you know, but you give great advice too. But they know a lot. They know more than They know. They just know. They really know. Archangel Michael, what do we need to know for this week? Ooh. What do we need to know for this week? What should we be aware? They all said 3 cards this week. Damn. Okay. If that's how you got feeling. The first one is write about your thoughts and feelings. And the prayer says, thank you for helping me tap into my God-given creativity and wisdom so I clearly express myself and glean insight, blessings, and healing. I'm pretty sure that's a typo. And it meant to say gain insight. Okay, Doreen Virtue. So write about your thoughts and feelings. I feel like specifically during an air season, you want to be doing more air magic, period. That includes communication, that includes writing, that includes air crystals, working with incense, working with herbs, burning like all these kind of different things you want to be doing. That includes writing about your thoughts and feelings. Because you do, again, I feel like writing, especially during an air season, it helps you stay in balance with the energy itself, especially if you're feeling more airy and then the fire and then not feeling the earth as much. It helps you stay in balance. The next one is your home is protected by angels. So all of you guys are going to do the prayer with me now so your home can be protected by angels. Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over my home and its inhabitants. I ask that you post guardian angels at each window and door, ensuring its security. Thank you for guiding my finances so that I can easily afford to pay rent, mortgage, and taxes. I hope y'all said it with me. Because everybody needs to be on that with the way people are getting evicted right now and everything that's going on with the economy. We need to make sure that we are protected. We need to make sure that we have angels at our door. We need to make sure that no negativity is getting through. So we're good. So we're safe. So we're stable. So we're not going through more than we need to go through. So make sure that you are doing that prayer every single day. Pink, relax. What are you huffing and puffing for? Yo, every time our roommate comes in, she goes off. She just goes off. She just goes off. She just goes off. Anyway. So, the next one is honor and trust your feelings. A lot of things about the feelings. You seeing a pattern here? You seeing a pattern here? Okay. Honor and trust your feelings. And the prayer goes, thank you, Archangel Michael, for supporting, guiding, and protecting me as I listen to and act upon my feelings. Help me understand and express my emotions with love. I'm telling you, Mercury and Scorpio, it's going to be like, oh, you don't want to listen to your intuition? Okay, you about to catch some hands, some spiritual hands. You about to catch some spiritual hands. Because Spirit is not playing with y'all. Not this week. Not this week. Honestly, through this entire Mercury retrograde cycle, if you even try to dismiss your intuition, your feelings as anything less than facts, you're gonna trip. You're gonna trip and then you're gonna be like, I knew it though. But you're gonna trip. You're gonna make yourself trip for no damn reason. What do we need to know for this week? What do we need to know for this week? Okay, the first card is Deep Freeze. Whew. Okay, hold on. What do we need to know? The second card is Making a Choice. And the next one is Details. Yo, I can't stand Spirit sometimes. Okay, so we're getting Deep Freeze. And you know what? I'm going to read these to you because this specific deck always reads the filth out of y'all and it always makes me laugh. So we're about to do this. So 26. Deep Freeze. Hold on. One more. There we go. Deep Freeze. Everything has its season. Now is the time to put activity on hold while you rest. Did y'all not forget that I said Mars and Aries is not making y'all move forward. Okay. In retrograde in Aries is not making y'all move forward. Okay. The cold winter beacons you to slow down and put a freeze on things that are not ready to bloom. Did I not say this earlier? It's time for regeneration, hibernation, forego ambitious activity. But understand that your fire will still be agitated by the lack of action. It's just going to happen. A pregnant pause all allows ideas to gestate, projects to shift and change, and relationships to go through a dreamy state of being, not going anywhere, not needing to. There is also a time to put all of your arguments on ice. Nothing beneficial will come from any of them. Self-care is the most important activity right now, so reflect, read a good book, get a massage, rest, and dream. Deep freeze. This is all the retrogrades, by the way. All of them. All of them. The next one is making a choice. And I know what this is about. Hold on. Okay, making a choice. You're required to come to a decision now. You're faced with a dilemma or a fork in the road and must make it a conscious choice regarding the next right direction. Whatever that choice is, you must take responsibility for it, yet you needn't be afraid, okay? You may not have all the answers right now because the way ahead can't be known until you've embarked and traveled a few steps. Trust your intuition. Did that not just come up like 80 times? Ask for a sign from spirit and you will be led to the right path. If you remain conscious and aware, your choice will be the right one at this time. Life is always about learning. Success lies in choosing consciously, guided by intuition and spirits. Okay? Choosing consciously, guided by intuition and spirit. So which one of those have you not been doing? If you've been choosing consciously but not being guided by intuition or guided by spirit, the most powerful patterns are created with the tiniest details. Pay attention. This is the time to be aware of the fine print in all areas of your life. Look at the details and leave the broad strokes for another time. When this card appears in a reading, it is a sign to finesse a project, make small but meaningful gestures, or add a personal touch to your correspondence. Be aware that what you need to know lies in the details. If you're entering into an agreement of any kind, pay attention to them before, not after, when it's too late. Mercury retrograde. Clarity and transparency are key. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. You can gain great understanding by observing the minute body language, offhand remarks, and fleeting facial expressions that reveal the larger picture. Details, intuition. Mercury in Scorpio in retrograde. Right there. So you do have a choice on whether or not, while you're going through this pausing period, okay, this pausing period where you cannot necessarily get all your goals and be like, Shatam, here world, here I am, here's what I'm landing. No. It's not about that right now. You have a choice on whether to sulk about it and not do absolutely anything with it, or still try to continue to push the envelope and get absolutely nowhere. Or look deeper into the details of what's going on in your life, what baggage you're carrying, what your trauma looks like, what your ancestors need from you. I said what I said. What you need to be doing with your life. What is it that you have yet to release that needs to be released? All of these different things, all of these details, all of these moments where we're having conversations with people and they're acting kind of funny. You're just like, wait, why is that happening? Look deeper. You're not crazy for asking questions, okay? You're not crazy for thinking that something is going on. If you feel something's going on, 1000% something's going on. What do we need to know for this week? This happened really fast. Okay, what do we need to know for this week? That jumped out super fast, but here we go. 1, guardian. You and your loved ones are safe and are spiritually protected. You're welcome, because that was that prayer we did earlier. No, but seriously, make sure you are practicing protection work, especially during this time. But also be aware that you do need to communicate with those who have passed as well. Your ancestors still need you to communicate, especially giving them consent to protect the family line during these times. The next one is focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts and feelings in action. So focus on your target and you will make your mark. Okay. And I do feel like right now it's going to take us being a little bit bolder about what it is that we're trying to achieve with our own personal goals, not necessarily about, you know, trying to make stuff necessarily happen and see the physical form of them appear, but mainly us setting intention and working on intention towards our healing, towards our self-care, towards our balance, towards making sure that we are in a good place. So we're not all over the place later. What is our planetary energies affecting us the most this week? What is our planetary energies? Okay. Okay, doke. Okay. This is gonna be fun. So the two planetary energies affecting us the most this week, it's Cancer and Pisces. And I want you guys to take a look at where these two are in are transferring, the way they're transferring in your chart right now. So take a look at that. But at the same time, let us talk a little bit deeper about these two energies. Okay. First of all, Cancer energy came up earlier in the reading. Right here. Okay. That nurturing, that mother energy, it's coming up a lot. And it's coming up because I do feel like right now it's about us nourishing ourselves and also allowing spirit to nourish us with information, with knowledge, with the truth, with opportunity of balance, of growth, and having and maintaining our self-care. I do feel like 1000% there's like this window of opportunity where spirit is really, really trying to help us. And I do feel like we need to be open to receiving that. Pisces. I'm going to tell you what Pisces is a trend this week. Having Mercury in Scorpio brings up a couple of different things. First of all, I do feel like there's some people who are going to be, you know, getting some prophetic dreams this week. But also the thing with Pisces versus Scorpio energy is very fond of Pisces energy. Why? Because Pisces do this really cute thing where they take the truth and they hide it in plain sight, okay? And they turn it into this very beautiful lie. And as much as Scorpio hates lies, it understands that there's truth hidden in the lies, the illusion of what they're seeing. So they fall for Pisces very easily. Scorpios do, and Pisces vice versa as well. But the reason why Pisces energy is coming up for us this week is because there's been stuff lying not only in our unconscious mind that will be brought up, but in our subconscious mind that will be brought up and rising up through the surface. Because Mercury in Scorpio is one of the most powerful positions for Mercury to be in, personally speaking, energetically wise, because in order for Mercury to travel all the way down to that level of the subconscious mind, it has to pass the subconscious mind, okay? Mercury is pure consciousness. Gemini, Virgo, pure consciousness. They live in the present tense. They live right now in what we are already aware of. And it's able to deliver messages into the conscious mind from all aspects of consciousness, from the higher conscious mind, which is where Aquarius and Uranus is, okay, to the emotional consciousness, which is where Cancer is, all the way down to the subconscious mind, which is where Pisces is and Neptune is, all the way down to Scorpio and Pluto. I can break that down in another video, another day, but it is a very powerful thing to have the consciousness of Gemini go all the way down through, going through that ladder, going through the subconscious, hitting that unconscious mind. Because you're not just going through one state of knowledge, you're going through multiple. And so there's a lot of things that are going to come up to the surface that you might have even been ignoring about what's going on with you. Like subconsciously, you might have been acting or behaving in a certain way, like maybe even your body's been kind of hurting in a certain position, or, you know, you hurt yourself in your toe like 2 weeks ago and you've been getting a little bit of pain, but it kind of went away, and now you just found out you sprained it. Like it's some deeper diving into what lies in between and what lies at the depths of truth. So these two energies are playing a lot of, I don't want to say games, but it's a little bit of games. It's a little bit of games this week. So make sure that you're aware of it. It's going to take a lot of water for us to balance out the earth. But at the same time, we do have this lingering air. And Libra is still going to be sitting here like, are you guys balanced yet? Have you been working on your balance? Are you emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally balanced? What does that look like? Which one of those are you having like problems with? Ooh. I done dropped all the Mudra cards. Well, not all of them. Hold on. But which one, like, what are you having specific issues with? That is a question. So let me just okay. There you go. Okay, so let's see what mudras we need to know for this week. What's coming up for this week for us collectively? Which mudras should we be using for our collective healing? Okay, woof. Woof. Okay, here we go. So we have, in order, cultivating devotional love. Through the heartfelt devotion to the divine, a radiant light encompasses my heart and mind. Ooh. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what it looks like. That's the one that you're going to be, if you want to use it for this week. There's two other more, but you can use these in your meditations for this week so you guys can actually get the benefits from it. Then we have female reproductive health. All of these are about, it's like divine feminine energy. Oh my God. Okay. Female reproductive health. Attuned to the rhythms of my inner being, I live with greater harmony and fluidity. That's what that looks like. And I'm turning it over for those who are going to read it. And the last one is healthy heart. Listening to my heart sensitively, my heart sensitivity naturally supports its health and vitality. And that's what that looks like. Lots of emotional stuff going on. Listen. So, these are all three. So my peoples can come through during the week to go check and see which one they can use for their meditations. There they are. So you guys can pause and read them. 1000%. I feel like we're going, it's definitely a lot of emotional stuff. It's a lot of grounding that we need to do. It's a lot of balancing that we need to do ultimately. But you guys will see a lot of activity in the love and partnership department this week. So I am going to go ahead and sign off because I do have to upload a couple videos, not only for you guys, but for the patrons as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm literally about to upload the vlog that I promised you guys for like 2 weeks now. So that's coming in a couple of seconds. And I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Do not forget to subscribe. Really quick thank you to all my new subscribers. Really happy to continue this growth. Can't wait to continue to grow with you guys as well. Don't forget to check out the Patreon because we're always learning and growing over there. Have a very beautiful day. I hope that you guys got and received the messages that you needed for this week. Okay, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.